Hello everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another indie comic book review. Guys, this is late, but better late than never. And next episode for both the indie and big 2 is going to be really short. They're going to be really short episodes. So anyway, the books we're reviewing in this episode, though, were released on
December 24th, 2014, Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Except we're recording this after Christmas Eve.
Well, after, and New Year's Eve, too.
Yeah, that's right.
Both Eves are done.
Indeed.
And in this episode, we have 7 physical copies.
And 11 digital copies.
Right.
So and it's 90% Michael.
Yeah, it's 90%
I literally
me.
have 1 physical and 4 digital, to my recollection.
It's all about the me. So
well, this when we did originally start the indie review, it was more books for you to review that. Mm-hmm.
All right. So Archie Comics Sonic Universe issue number 71, Spark of Life. Yeah,
but this is the web links variant.
I was gonna say that the web links variant.
Cover.
Cover.
Not the story. Cover.
So this is a brand. Oh, let me just put that there. So this is a brand new story arc where Sonic and friends are facing off against the Dark Arms, as well as trying to get the Chaos Emeralds. But there's like Nicole, who actually we get to see her digital world, what it looks like, and I like how they put that in there. And the artwork's fantastic. And she's found someone that she hasn't seen for a very long time. It was like her father, but like a father to her, and they give a little background story of what happened. I can't remember what his name was. Dr. Elodie is his name. So he had to go on a long trip, and they haven't seen each other in a long time because he got trapped in the universe. And then it goes to the island where actually Big the Cat, I can't believe he joined Tails and Sally on the mission.
How could you forget Sally?
I just remembered. So they have this thing where they found Dr. Elodie, and then he gives his background about the it actually relates to the World Shattered in Sonic the Hedgehog Volume 1. There's lots of other stories. I don't want to give too much away because I want you guys to read it, but well, let's just say that in the next issue there's going to be a lot of other forms that are going to appear as the issue continues. So definitely something for the kids to read and everybody. So it is on the recommendation pile.
Best cover.
Dark Horse Comics, Shark Week, Tomb Raiders issue number 11.
It says Shark Week?
No, I'm just saying Shark Week. And
don't say that.
There are no sharks in this, so you just got it because...
I wish DC Comics would do a Shark Month variant cover. That would be so cool. I love shark covers. I don't know why. The Ghostbusters one, this one, the Deadpool one. I don't know why, but I love shark covers.
So when we begin this issue, this guy, Argo Ramel, who was Mr. Cruz's like sidekick or son, I'm guessing. Oh, his loyal servant. My mistake. Like Ms. Cruz just saying, just to make her suffer for what she did to Mr. Cruz. So Laura Croft is trying to do acting for this play and everything, and you know, she realizes she's not a good actress. What?
There looks to be a book coming out.
Yeah, the 10,000 Immortals, which I might look into.
Okay.
So Andrea, it's really about Andrea, who is the actress of working with Laura Croft. Like she's trying to tell that she's not an actress. She's an archaeologist. So she tries to fit in with her friends and these gangs who try to get Laura Croft. Let's just say the mystery person who actually the Auger guy, however you say his name, he was telling the thugs, I am in protection of Mrs. Croft, and he just takes him out, like, just bam. Like, look at that. This is, like, really something else, and when he just takes him out, that's it. Then Mr. Cruz, he just leaves the hospital. He's just, like, saying, I want to be left be, and all that other stuff happens. So, there may be a big twist and turn for Laura Croft, as well as her actressing. And well, Andrea left after she saw Laura do all those punch and kick moves and all that. But she's gonna come back probably if the issue continues. And Jonah, who's Laura's best friend, is the one that's behind all this play. Alright, now we're going to go into Zenescope Comics of Dark Shaman, issue 3 of 4. One more issue until we conclude the Dark Shaman series. And just to give a briefie of this book, it's really just a backstory that they talk about at first. Of, why can't I get... Cobbs, I think her name was? I can't remember what her name was, I don't believe it. But, they talk about, you know, the past that she was in, and, like how she, was one of those creatures. I'm not going to show you, oh, Colby, that's her name. So there are some disturbing images I want to show. Oh, this is good, right here. Amazing artwork as always. And they're trying to get away from, this, demon spear who is trying to kill everybody, and there are some deaths in this comic book that I will not spoil. You're going to have to read the book to find out, because I don't want to give too much away. And what they're trying to do is just trying to find their way out of this and out of the island, because it's just getting, well, let's just say it's getting very, how can I say, it's more chaotic, so to say. So she goes back to this place where she remembers that she's been there before, and let's just say that the shaman is going to end by Colby, from what she stated. So, I'm just saying that's what I saw from that. But I really definitely recommend you get this issue, because next issue is the last issue, and we'll see how all of this will conclude and how the mystery will unfold.
Now, I started reading this book. Originally, I was going to read it.
I read it too.
Mike read it, so he's going to do the review for this part. I'm going to continue with the next part. I read the first volume. I missed out on the second. I do have the digital copy of the trade paperback, which I'm going to read through at some point. This is the third volume. I don't know if this is going to be a trilogy or if there's more, but anyway.
It's the Jungle Book, issue 1 of 5.
And the series is called The Fall of the Wild.
Yeah, Fall of the Wild. So, as he said, like, this is the third volume. Like, I had no idea, like,
but it caught you up right away.
But it does catch you up right away, and I did read that. And it's basically just Mowgli and Bagheera, thank you. There's all these animals fighting against each other, and you get Baloo who wants to who's fighting all these bears. Something about
something's off with the wild, basically.
Yeah, like he wants to become oh, what's that thing called? Like something of leadership. It looked like he wanted to be of something, Baloo, like to challenge the leadership and all that. So I want to show some artwork, like right here.
King Louie.
Yeah, King Louie is in this comic as well, and he just wants, you know, determination of going into the wild and conquering the jungle, because that's what he wants to do. So they're trying to wonder what's going on with this whole these animals going crazy and volcanoes everywhere. So Bagheera and Mowgli go to find out what's happening, and there's lots of other stuff that happens in this, but I don't want to spoil it, because let's just say that the island and everything is going to war. So,
yeah, and there's a big explosion at the end.
Well, I didn't want to give that away.
No, I didn't say what the explosion was of.
Yeah.
It's not dynamite.
So, I would say if you've been reading the volumes, then you know what's going on. The 2 volumes, yeah. To know what's going on.
No, I said I was raising my hand for me, not 2.
Oh, I thought you said to read the 2 volumes because the third, yeah. But it did catch me up from the notes, and I'm glad that they do those note things.
I love what Zenescope does with all their books. It's really a treat reading all the new stuff. I can't wait for Little Mermaid, and there were a few other books that
I think the White Queen was one of them.
White Queen is going to be one of them.
Yeah, because I think they mentioned it in this one. Wonderland issue number 30.
Wonderland is another treat. Most of the books Mike reviews, I usually read after Mike reviews them. Mike just gets ahead of me with those because I have tons of other books that I'm reading too. But I do enjoy everything out of Zenescope.
So last time they were going up the stairs to find out who this person is that's behind the faceless man was what the little boy said, and the way
still reminds me of Slender Man.
Yeah, let's not go into that. So I want to just show some artwork. Basically, it's just a White Queen against the faceless man, from what I'm seeing. And he has Steven captive, and he wants to, you know, take over him and do what, you know, all bad guys do. The White Queen saves the little girl that the little boy was looking for. I can't remember what her name was. It was in the last issue. And here's some artwork. So they're just trying to, like, they're just talking with the cat, like saying, so, like, you some type of wizard and stuff like that. I thought that was funny. So, oh man, no face. That's what he called him. So, he found out that he's gone. There was a reuniting. But then at the end of the issue, let's just say that the White Queen just went back to her daughter at the end of the portal. So next is Breaking Point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. The White Queen, Age of Darkness. This is Grim Fairy Tales versus Wonderland.
Yeah, I remember there was a whole lead up to that.
Yes.
In the
and it has a trickster on it, so you never know. She might be part of it.
And you guys know we're getting everything Zenescope. Oh, yeah. The only books we have, we only missed one book this year, and that was 2014, the $5 Christmas special. We ended up reading that digitally.
Oh, yeah, but we got digital, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We still.
We covered it. We just don't have a physical copy.
Oh, okay. I thought you said we didn't cover it. I was about to say. Well,
no, we did cover everything Zenescope
I did remember that because I reviewed it. And the wonderful book of Patrick
Michael's
Shan's
favorite book.
Robin Hood issue number 5. Robin Hood versus Red Riding Hood in this issue.
Remember when we did that panel thing and you were so happy when they said that?
Oh, yeah. But it really wasn't just... It was like because they were being controlled over that thing that... I think her name was Valerie. The person that's behind it. So she's like saying, you know, you're going to pick up your weapons and just fight to death. Fight to the death, basically. So... I'll show some pictures. Then there's other things chaotic in the city that Marion is trying to solve here. Here's some artwork. Then there's this whole thing of Dracula being in it, and he has a scene where he talks about stuff. You'll have to read the book to find out what it is. So Robin Hood and Red Riding Hood, all I have to say is, not just saying because she's my favorite, I would say definitely Robin Hood would win. But that's just my opinion. So anyway, it looked like she was gonna kill her, but I knew that wasn't gonna happen because come on, she's not that evil. So everything goes a little werewolf stuff. Werewolfy, yeah. I'll just put it that way. I'm just trying to find out what her name is, because I think her name was Valerie. I don't know why I'm so terrible with names. I'm going to stop myself if I don't find it. But, yeah. So, basically it was a fight between those two, and everything was hunky-dory after that. And she got a new cat, actually, that we saw from the last issue. And that was basically the end of that. And here's preview cover for the next issue.
I like that cover. I think I'm going to get that cover for the
Yeah, that cover is good. So really, like, the whole story and everything was just amazing, you know, with all that. And I can't find her name.
Don't worry about the name.
Oh, well. I think it was Valerie or something. Please excuse me, Mr. Shan. I'm not good with names, but this is an excellent issue. Definitely book of the week from Zenescope. Absolutely must read. I mean, it's just each and every time, never disappointed me.
Gee, after 10 minutes, it's my turn.
Oh, yes it is.
Got the subscription cover for this one because I love it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ghostbusters, issue number 3. In this issue, the Ghostbusters and Turtles team up to save Casey Jones, whom apparently is fighting Chi-Yu's control, and he's doing a very good job. He actually, when they sneak up on Chi-Yu in the beginning of the issue, Casey Jones lays down some secrets to Winston. Unfortunately, Chi-Yu gets away. I love the artwork in this book. I think that, I gotta say his name right. I always want to make sure I say his name right. Dan Schoening. I hope I'm saying his last name right. His artwork is spectacular with the Turtles and the Ghostbusters. There's a reference to an old Ghostbusters book in here. And anyway, beside that reference, Chi-Yu basically finds a way to completely control Casey, finally. And towards the end of the issue, the Turtles, well, 3 out of the 4 Turtles, Donnie stays behind to start working on the portal and some other plans they have against Chi-Yu. They go off to save Casey, but Casey, once again, like I said, is under complete control of Chi-Yu now. But of course, this is the Turtles and the Ghostbusters. They always find a way. So the Turtles end up saving Casey, and Ray's like, you guys can go home now. You got your friend. Everybody's together. And like, no. We're going to stay till the very last moment if we have to, because we're going to drag Chi-Yu back to our world with us. To be concluded. And Chi-Yu in the end...
That was her name.
Ivory. And Chi-Yu at the end of this issue basically says they're going to... Him and his minions are going to war against the Ghostbusters and the Turtles. To be concluded. This is by far my favorite crossover of 2014. The only sad thing is that it ends in 2015, so I can't say it's my favorite full miniseries because it doesn't end in 2014. But still, I'm loving this series. I can't wait to read the last issue. This has been going amazingly. And now we're going into the digital, and now we're jumping into Dynamite. Dynamite had 3 specials this week for the 3 characters in... Justice Inc.
Yeah.
And we're going to start with
the Shadow.
The Shadow. What is this called? The Agents of the Shadow.
Yeah.
Special. It's a one-shot.
Yeah, and basically it's just the origin story of, or an adventure actually, of the Shadow. Like there's this crime that's going on.
This artwork's really good. Who's the artist?
Yeah, I was actually going to say who the artist was.
I guess the credits are at the end, so we'll get to the.
But anyway, so yeah, the Shadow. Shadow knows all. He just goes after these people and just knocks them out. And then there's this like big explosion that does happen during the mission.
Lots of action.
And everyone thinks that the newspaper people thought that the Shadow was dead. And
that's funny. That face is hilarious.
That's actually really hilarious. So there's just like this whole mystery that, well, actually, very raunchy mystery that's going on, and all that.
I don't wanna know.
Yeah, I don't think you wanna know. If you want to find out, definitely read the book. Margot is in some action. This is before they got together, it looks like, because she was with someone else back then. Because this is a long time ago, by the way. And there's just lots of stuff that's going on, and they want to just know like where Lamont is, because Lamont is the Shadow. So there's all crime that's happening everywhere, and there's no one to stop them. And then as the issue continues, I think the Shadow came back. I'm not.
Of course he comes. He has to come back.
Well, he does come back as the issue. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, as the issue continues, he does so and faces up against this half lion, half guy. I don't know what he is. So there he is, alive and well, as we all should know. And then he just takes out all of the Emperor's men and then goes after the Emperor himself. And it's a really intense fight. I will say that much.
Lots of action.
There is lots of action.
Every page has a
I'm just in awe of the action. I just don't want to give it away because I want you guys to read it. It's just, and then he just says,
and then the beginning of the Ages of the Shadow.
Yep, the Shadow knows all, and
it didn't give the artist's name.
It was in the beginning, by the way.
We'll go back to the beginning. I want to give him credit. I like his artwork.
But for those of you who are fans of the Shadow, such as myself, because I've been reading the Shadow, then you'll definitely like this book.
Maybe Anthony Marquez?
Probably. I don't know. I just... Well, anyway, we'll get into next book.
Yeah, because I'm not finding it, and I don't want to...
Yeah, but it is excellent artwork, so whoever did it, it's really excellent artwork. Okay,
next one is kind of funny. The Avenger, the Television Killers special one-shot.
Yep. And in the Avenger, we find out that in the beginning, and this is
great
an origin
artwork.
Story, he was actually a detective, and he's, well, undercover detective, really. And he sees that there's blood everywhere, so he's trying to find, his name's Richard Benson, by the way. That's his real name. And he's trying to find out, what's going on with this case. There's like a case going on, and he's trying to solve the criminal of who's behind what's going on. So And his sidekick that he works with, Billie Holiday, she's a newscaster, but now she's a musician. So
fixed it.
Yeah. So
now I messed it.
Oh, whoop, sorry.
Make sure I didn't mess it too bad.
Yeah. So she has a feeling, Billie Holiday, that there's this guy who's stalking her that wants to kill her. So Richard Benson, even though he didn't want to work with her before, does. And then there's this whole big thing of his men who help protect her throughout the whole issue. And then after all that...
That's a funny joke about that sounds whiter than you.
Yeah. And it's really an interesting story. I really want to know about this character. And from what I read from the Justice Inc., that there was going to be a side story of him, which there is a little bit of Richard Benson and how he became who he is today. That was really interesting. And there's just too much in here that I do not want to spoil.
Gotcha.
So I'm just going to leave it at that.
And now the final special, Doc Savage.
Yes, all three
special,
of the Justice Inc.
Woman of Bronze.
Yeah, and basically, it's not the main character, Doc Savage, the male version. It's actually the female version, which is her daughter, who is...
Her daughter or his daughter?
I'm sorry, his daughter. I'm sorry, his daughter, who has the name of Savage. So, I mean, this chick, I mean, she's got the moves,
this woman.
Well, yeah, this woman. Like, what, I can't say chick?
No, not proper, dude. Respect yourself.
Anyway, so she is also going on another mission as well.
I like her fighting.
Yeah, and there's this little girl, she actually could speak Chinese to her because that's all she speaks. She doesn't speak any English. And that was actually cool that she could speak Chinese and they could understand. She doesn't talk as much, so after a while, the girl gets kidnapped, and throughout this whole issue, the woman Savage, I'll call her that because I can't remember her name, tries to find every which way.
Everybody tries to rip this poor woman's shirt off.
Yeah, and she tries every which way to find out where she is, and she does everything in her power to make sure that she is safe. And that's the whole book.
She's cool. She's like her father.
Yeah. I mean, like father, like daughter. And she has a friend of hers that works at the salon that helps her out throughout this whole case as well. Really, really amazing. And the main character actually shows up after a while.
Oh, wow. We're back to me again? Thanks
yes,
God.
We are.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 10, Issue 10. Mm-hmm. I was issue. Okay. In this issue, Buffy is dealing with the book. You know, setting things equal, setting things right, whatever. And who shows back up but Harmony? The woman who's a self-centered you will hate this character if you do not know
I already
Buffy.
hate her now that you mentioned it.
If you do not know Buffy, you will hate... This woman comes in, and Buffy's trying to make peace with the new vampires. So Harmony's the one that actually figures out, why don't you allow them to walk out in the sunlight, but they don't have their powers during the day? And basically Buffy and Vicky, the new vampire, actually come to that kind of compromise. So after that, Harmony finds out Spike has the book. And for the rest of the issue, after she knocks Spike out, by the way, she has her... Oh, God, what was his name?
What name?
The guy's name.
You just said his name, right? Spike?
No. Clem.
Oh.
She has Clem take the book, and she's giving him this whole slew how she wants everybody to love her. Vampires are cool. She gets this whole funny part with basically she wants Spike and Angel and Buffy to live in a polygamous relationship.
Oh no.
Which was messed up. And like she's like, unicorns are real and everything. And Spike wakes up because, well, it took her a while to explain all of this. And basically takes the book back, and it turns out Clem didn't write anything. At all. And she's like, you jerk, why didn't you write anything? And he explains, you know, you don't want to force people to love you. You want people to love you like I love you, because of you. And of course she doesn't get it because she's an airhead complete. And it turns out Clem did write one thing, that unicorns are real. Mm-hmm. And then the ending's really nice, and there's a little bit of a epilogue where it turns out the soul glutton, the mistress of something... They're basically going to sit back and relax and wait for this one person to basically they want revenge against Buffy, and they want the book, and they want to, you know,
of course.
And now they basically decided they're not going to do any. There's a whole plan, and I don't really, you know what? I'm going to not spoil the plan and let you guys figure out. But it's amazing. I can't wait for the next issue.
All right, so
you have Captain Midnight. You have 3 minutes for Captain Midnight.
All right. Just let me get the cover. Captain Midnight, issue number 18.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And to sum up this whole book, it's Captain Midnight going after Chuck because he wanted to find out everything.
Oh, nice artwork.
Yeah, he left Helios at a volcano place because he didn't want him to join this mission because you never know. He could still backstab him. So it's Captain Midnight and his team going into his lair, and Captain Midnight gets past his men and everything, you know, one by one. And they made
own the sky. That's really good.
They made him badass in this issue. So he meets with Chuck, but there's a little bit of a twist of Chuck that he has this armor machine, and like a symbiote in Marvel, it's controlling him, and he's like saying, you know, don't let the suit control you because, you know, I know, like he knows what it can do. It can mess up with your mind. So it's really Captain Midnight against Chuck. So he finds Chuck Ramsey after the whole issue, and when he makes it to the lair, there he is. And I like that. If I could get a poster of that, that would be cool.
Indeed. So, Dark Horse, Captain Midnight, number 19 cover. Make it a poster.
I will definitely buy it. So definitely recommendation to buy for those of you who read Captain Midnight.
Alright guys, just give us give us 1 second and we will continue with this week's indie comic book review. Alright, and we're back. And we are still in Dark Horse, and this is the final issue, Aliens, Fire and Stone, issue 4 of 4, the story that is the furthest back in time. We still have, God, why is his name always leaves me? We have Kale, who's still mutating because he fell into the Black Ooze, but we have, Derek Russell, he's the last survivor from Hadley's Hope on LV-223. And basically he's talking to Rover throughout this whole book. It's very heavy dialogue, but this sets up so well for Prometheus, it's not even funny. Because everything he's talking about is how he wants to he found the crashed ship from Prometheus the movie.
Yeah.
How he found the engineer ship, and also about the Black Goo, how if it's injected directly into a human, it wouldn't cure him, but it could cure diseases like cancer and whatnot. But he's like, maybe an android would be a good, middleman. You inject it into the android and then you take it out. And gee, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Yes, because that's exactly what was done, what Francis did to Eldon in Prometheus. And like I said, Derek finds Kale and he sees the mutations, and that's where he where he comes up with the blue goo, the black goo can do all these amazing things. And
how was he able to write on the wall?
I don't know. He made etchings, maybe. I don't know. But it turns out that because he's been in this environment for so long, he's starting to become affected by it. He's getting these bad headaches. He's getting, he finds this tumor in his head. And like I said, he goes to the engineer ship and he's screaming, it's time for you guys to wake the hell up, and figure out what's going on. Nothing happens, but you notice this little ping on one of the pods. And obviously this is going to be...
coming out.
It is. It's the engineer that's in Prometheus and that's also in Predator and Alien vs. Predator. Well, no, he wasn't in Alien vs. Predator, but he was the engineer that showed up on LV-223 when... the others showed up in Prometheus and leading into Predator also. Galago and the others.
Yeah.
So it turns out he still wants to do research. He wants time. He ends up scanning himself. Like I said, he finds this tumor, and then he's tending to the cemetery of everybody who's died except Kale. Turns out Kale attacks him, but he kills Kale. The aliens actually find Kale as more of an threat than Derek, so they actually chase Kale. And they're still afraid of the mountain. And it turns out there is a human in the mountain somewhere. We find out also. There's a lot of stuff we find out. In the end, though, it turns out Derek gets chased down by the aliens and he has a choice. To jump into the Black Goo and take the risk, or to die by aliens. And it kind of ends with him reaching for the Black Goo and he's like, I don't know. Would it change me enough to survive? or would I even remember I did it in the first place, if I did do it? And I guess he chose death because all you hear is the alien screech, and that's the end of the book. So, it's a sad end for the aliens book. Turns out nobody survived there. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens in Alien vs. Predator and the Predator books to find out if anybody survives those in those two books.
Yep.
But I have a strong feeling that Allison and Gallagher have a good chance of surviving, maybe.
Absolutely.
We'll have to wait and see. The next book, a shocking ending. Terminator Salvation, The Final Battle, issue 12 of 12. This book, the fighting ends. John Connor talks with Skynet and says, I don't have to delete you. Why can't we live in peace? And he's explaining, you can't see beauty, you can't create beauty, but we can. We don't have the technology that you have. Why don't we join forces? And if it doesn't work, hell, we'll go right back to the way we were before. And basically a truce is met. John Connor's human form is dead. The Terminator is still alive. We get the link between the final Terminator movie and this book. It turns out that the Doctor sends back another Terminator to protect John Connor. But again, because John Connor is now a Terminator, she couldn't do voice recognition, so she programmed it to answer only to John Connor's wife. And it turns out that that Terminator is the Terminator that killed him,
right,
which was being controlled by, I forgot that guy's name already. But anyway, that Terminator goes back, so we get the final Terminator movie solved, and then John Connor gets the final gift from Skynet. He basically, in Terminator skeleton form, he gets the skin and the muscles and everything again. So basically he's human again, but he's a mixed breed because his skeletal system and his brain and everything is that of a Terminator, which kind of also makes him immortal.
Very immortal, yeah.
Which is very interesting also. And then just things, 3 years later, 3 years after the war ended, things are actually back to a somewhat norm. And he has 2 kids, and he feels like he forgot something. And I love how it ended with the 3 Terminators that were sent back in time in the first place to prevent what's his name from being killed. So it's like they're still there, but it ends in peace. Skynet and the human race in the end. The war ends, and it was the way John Connor explained. He's like, this is senseless. Why are we fighting? What's the point in all this? Why don't we work together? Because if we die, you have nothing left to do. If you die, we have to struggle to build back up from where we were. Let's work together. This was, I think, honestly and personally, this was the best ending, the best way to end Terminator before the reboot. Because obviously we're getting the whole regenesis, so to speak, and it's going to restart the Terminator U. This was the best way to end the ongoing Terminator, the originals, before they reboot it. With the reboot, I don't agree with it. I think that me and Terminator, after Salvation, after this great ending, this amazing ending, I'm good. I could say that I'm happy with how Terminator ended, and I don't need to continue with the franchise anymore if they continue with the reboot. If they go back in time and decide to do other stories, great. But if they're not, if they're going to work with the reboot, I think I'm good with Terminator. Okay, moving into Halo Escalation, issue number 13. Guys, as much as I really would like to say I enjoyed this issue, to be honest, I read halfway through and I stopped because for some reason with this issue, I just couldn't get into it. There's a lot of great action. There's great artwork. But whenever I think Halo, I think of the Master Chief. What honestly kept me reading was Professor Halsey.
Yeah.
Who she was actually in Reach. She was the one that Cortana was based after. The same voice actress actually did her and Cortana. But all in all, I tried to get into this book. It turns out that the UNSC gets a piece of a key. She has another piece of a key, and she wants to bring them together. And I don't know, something's supposed to happen with it, but in the end, I just couldn't find myself really interested in this book. I really would like the Master Chief to play a good role. I understand you can't do it right now because Halo 5 is coming, and it's not based off the Master Chief at all. It's based off of the Guardian. But maybe when the Master Chief comes back into the picture, maybe with Halo 6, or if he's even in Halo 5, maybe Halo 5, maybe we'll get more with the Master Chief. Halo shines the most. This comic series, Escalation, shined the most when the Master Chief, in my opinion, was part of the story. I understand, you know, Halo Escalation, they want to build the whole Halo universe out, and I'm all for that, but I would like to see a little bit Master Chief also. I would like to have him in the... He made Halo what Halo is, and I understand they're trying to build away from him a little bit, but at the same time, I'd like him involved in some shape or form, because every once in a while this is good, but you got to have the Master Chief in there to break, you know, to give us a little bit of what we know
that's the point of the
also.
book in Halo.
Yeah, so honestly, as I like this book. I would definitely recommend it if you are a Halo fan, 100%. It's just, I wish the Master Chief could be in it a little bit more, even if he's not going to be in the next game. Halsey was definitely a plus for this book, though.
Yeah. This right here was my best digital book.
And this a lot of people were talking about. From Image Comics, we have Graveyard Shift, issue number 1.
And it starts off with these guys are going after this vampirous person who is just destroying everyone, and you can't kill him because he's a vampire. And as he goes out the window, we all know he's not dead because of that. So wait. I want to know their names. Hope is the woman, and I'm trying to remember what his name is. Alright, well, basically, there's an apartment of these two people, Hope and this guy who she's with. And, you know, they're having like a nice dinner with each other, and, you know, everything is going nice and everything. And then after a while, we get these two guys who are at the door, and they're saying, you know, Hope, we saw your artiste thing in the gallery and want to talk about it, and they couldn't do it over the phone. Turns out, who didn't see this coming, they were vampires, and they kill Hope, well, not kill, they actually bit Hope when she's losing blood, and he's trying to fight his way out to basically fight them off. And, you know, they killed him in the fire, but then as the issue continues, he was resurrected by someone saying that, I'm sorry, but your wife is dead, and the lieutenant told him that. And then she was like saying we were at the funeral. So he gets up and goes to the cemetery to see if this is all true. And when he goes there, he does see his wife in a form, but a lamb. That's his name, Liam. And after the vampire gang set to her to kill him, and it ends like that. After I saw the end, I said, whoa. And you were there when I said it. I said, whoa. The way they did the whole story, genius. And the ending, genius. I cannot wait to read the next issue. It's just that amazing. Definitely check out Graveyard Shift. Really good.
Alright, next from Valiant, we have Unity, issue number 13. How was this book, Mike?
To be honest,
this looks like it followed a lot of Harbinger.
That, but it was more inter-dialogue more than dialogue, like at the beginning. But it's basically about this guy who's working in a jail cell, and he's like saying, you know, I don't want to work for you. And they said, either you work for us or your great-grandfather dies painfully. So the Unity team, along with Ninjak, are trying to find a way how to break into this place to save him. And this monster thing, or I don't know what his name is, but yeah, so it's Faith.
I love the artwork, and I love
Ninjak. So it's Faith, Harbinger, no, not Harbinger, Livewire, Ninjak,
and the Eternal Warrior.
The Eternal Warrior. All four of them are going to, you know, find their way there. And this is Faith's first day on the job to be on their team, which almost cost Livewire's life, but thank God she was saved. So they're finding every which way to get into this place. And Ninjak's like saying, you know, we have to do it in a way that's less punishable instead of intense, because they're not like them. So they do get some answers, but it's to be continued because...
Explosive ending again.
Yeah, so there's going to be some answers that are going to have to be answered, in the next issue. So I thought it was really good, and I'm enjoying Unity, and can't wait to see what happens next.
Alright, final book for this
Yeah.
episode, and that is the X-Files Xmas special. How was it, Mike?
Yeah. Well,
It's a
Christmas
big
special,
book.
Yeah. There are two stories. The first story talks about Mulder's
Childhood?
childhood a little bit and how he encountered with this alien-like species. So he's at the mall and he's trying to find
That's
Dana.
the second story.
No, that's the first story.
Oh, it's still the first
This is
story?
the
I
first
thought
story.
that the childhood was the first story.
No. Because then it goes into that.
Oh.
So he's trying to find Dana a gift before the very last minute. And I like how when she said, don't forget to bring the dip, and then he's like saying, really? I don't think you want to go dipping in this cold weather. I thought that was actually funny. So he's at the mall and sees Santa Claus, or, self-proclaimed of that. And everything goes like all everywhere, and he wanted to give Santa a gift, but there was a gift that was given to him from Santa. And I wish it wouldn't go too fast. I'm trying to remember. So Fox goes back to the apartment where Dana is because Dana was wondering where he's been for so many hours. And I like the artwork too, by the way. And there was this gift that they got, and I don't want to really say what it was, but let's just say in the end they got some mistletoe action, both Fox and Dana, and yeah. Now we're into the second story.
Okay.
In this second story, I'm trying to remember now, like, there was like this thing in... Oh, there was this new guy that joined on the team, and for a couple of weeks now, and he was in the army before, and he met with this woman, and this woman actually comes back, and he's like saying, where the hell have you been all these years? Everyone thought you were dead. So he has this long story about how he was in the war, and how he actually was alive, and how everything was, the way it is. So there's this demon now that they're trying to figure out where it is, and Agent Ellingson is the only person that could help him get out. Krampus is his name. And Krampus is this demon form of Santa Claus, basically. And he only comes on Christmas Eve. I believe it was Evo Day. No, it was Christmas Eve, I think. Don't quote me, I may be wrong. So they find it, and then Agent Ellingson did this famous, well, not famous, like he did this trick to get him away. And that's really the end. So really, it's just like a holiday
And then you get
story.
some artwork. Ooh, I like this. You get some
sketching and stuff.
First of all, you get some script. Then you get sketches. Then you get the finished work. Then you get it colored. And then you get the word bubbles. Wow, it shows you the process.
Yeah.
First, it shows you the rough draft. Then the sketching. Then the color. And then the word bubbles added in.
Yeah, but this was a really nice story, especially on the date of Christmas Eve. That now is over, and I really enjoyed this book, and I see you're very stunned by now. This whole
I like going back and forth on it.
Yeah, you're a back and forth like person.
Anyway, that's it for this indie review, guys. Look forward to the next indie review really soon. First, we're going to do the Big 2 review for the week of the 24th.
And
but anyway,
for those of you out there, Happy New Year.
Indeed. To break the between episodes, I will be making an announcement video after the Big 2 review, which we're going to be shooting probably tomorrow night, which tomorrow night's Friday, so it should be up by Saturday. So look forward to a 2015 video, a New Year's video, where I'm going to be making lots of announcements, lots of setup for 2015, and my well wishes and my thoughts on the previous year of 2014. Look forward to that after the Big 2 review for December 24th, which should be coming up right after this video, 24 hours from now. So until then, guys, as always, don't forget to check out Comic Related, Comic Frontline, Zone 4 Podcast, Frontline Gaming Zone, and Brooklyn Boys 13. Together we're your #1 source for comic related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. And we will see you guys really soon in the next review. Take care, keep reading, keep collecting.
Indeed, Leon.
See you guys next time.
Later, guys.